What up, Scale, and welcome to Bar Vibes with Bryce the Fourth, giving out raw reaction and rocking with the masses. No subject is safe. You hear the people in the noise, but that's the point. Because without the people, what is the point? So, as everyone knows, outside of the I don't give a fuck about sports universe, it's March Madness. And since, last week, a lot of stories, but I'm not going to, dive into, the, High Point, shout out to High Point, for making their mark in the tournament, but I'm not going to do that. We got to talk about the big things. And yes, Duke did almost lose to Siena. That was a tough game. Up until like the last 4 minutes, and when you have Cam Boozer, you can't lose her. I said it, yeah. Everybody. Cam Booze came in clutch at the end of that game to make sure that they did not lose to a 16 seed, and they righted the ship because the beginning of the TCU game, they looked like shit. But they opened it up, and now in the Sweet 16. Before I move on, you want the end goal for a lot of teams is to be in the second weekend. You don't want to lose before the 32. A team that did lose before they got to the 32 is the University of North Carolina Tar Heels. I'm sorry, you sick? You sick? You sick? Yeah. They lost to VCU in terrible fashion. The worst loss ever. In the first 64, they were up 19 points and lost. Their moderator on Twitter tweeted at halftime, up 19 points at the moment. Well, he spoke that into existence because they lost. Is Hubie on the hot seat? Is Hubie on the hot seat? It was just a question. They have two. They have two really good high school players coming. UNC does. So. Oh my God! Yeah, we do. Again, about to be 5 out of 6 years now. This is your favorite person of Daniel McPeterson. Daniel McRickle talking about his team. You are bounced, boop, 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 out of the first round. But I don't think that Hubert should be fired. It sucks because you got having Roy Williams, be the coach that brought them so many championships, and they don't want to go outside of the family. And for people who don't know what that means, they don't want to have coaches that either didn't coach there or didn't play there coach the team. It's never happened, and it never will happen, no matter how good that coach is. So you have to have a coach that brings in players that are going to win. Now, when you're in the same state as Duke, sure, absolutely, it's tough. So you have to have a coach who can convince recruits to come to UNC versus going to Duke. So if he can't get that done next year, after this year, obviously, he might be gone, but not this year. I'm a Duke fan, But I don't think that Hubie should be fired. Then you get Nova losing to Utah State. What is that? People who rooted for Nova during the Jay Wright days are pissed the fuck off, as you should be. Nova was shooting the lights out in the first half. 3s on 3s. And then Utah State just jumped on them with lobs. Santa Clara, they lost to Kentucky. Now, this is one... I've watched so many games in this tournament, as one does. This was the game where it's like, all right, say someone says to you, hey, this is the NCAA tournament. Let's watch this game. And you sit there and you watch and you're like, oh, why is this lower team beating this other team? And then the better team starts winning and you get a buzzer beater backboard 3 and then they win the game. That is what's March. That is what March is. You never know what's going to happen. I was out. I saw, the game happening. Probably like 50 people watching, and it sounded like we were in an arena. It was crazy. And then when I say they, Iowa State destroyed Kentucky. I was talking to my guy, Big Media Mike. It was halftime, and it was 31-30, Iowa State to Kentucky. And he was like leaving from watching the game. He was like, they're going to open this up because Iowa State was missing their best player, and it still didn't matter. Great team, and beat the shit out of Kentucky. So, this is March. And then you get St. John's with a buzzer beater against Kansas. And this is St. John's first Sweet 16 since 1999. 1999. Calipari has them on a roll. You get Dylan Darling. If you don't know who Dylan Darling is, he had a great game against Xavier earlier in the season. He was 0 for 4 in this game. He had 3 air balls. They ran a play when they were down, and he told his coach, hey, no, run power, run the ball to me. I got it. He did it, got it. And I didn't realize until I looked it up, they call him Bells. And they were like, why do they call him Bells? Because their coach said he has balls bigger than church bells. That's a fire nickname. If niggas walking around calling me Bells and you don't know, just call me Bells. I'm Bells. If you walk into a club and you're like, hey, how you doing? What's your name? I'm sorry. I'm Bells. That's a fire nickname. Duke got St. John's in the Sweet 16. This region right here, Duke, St. John's, Michigan State, UConn, I don't care. And if Duke loses, that's fine. This region, this right here is going to be fire. And now you get Iowa State and Nebraska. Now, if you know sports, you know Nebraska and Iowa State. I'm sorry, Iowa. Excuse me, Iowa. Shout out to Cooper Eugene. Iowa are football teams. They are. Neither one of those fan bases would have thought, hey, our basketball teams are going to be in the Sweet 16. And now they're playing each other. Nebraska has never won a NCAA basketball game tournament ever. They've been around since the 1900s. They've never won a NCAA basketball tournament game. Not a championship, a game. And they've won 2 this year. And now they're playing their their rivals in Iowa, who's not been to the Sweet 16 in 25 years. I'm excited for that game. Alabama loses to Texas Tech. Texas Tech had 4 makes from 3 on 25 shooting. 4 from 25. You shot the ball 25 times from 3, and you made 4 of them. You deserve to lose that game. And also, your best player for Alabama wasn't playing. And you know why he wasn't playing? Anybody? Hand up. Yeah, he got caught with 2 pounds of weed on his ass. 2 pounds of weed. A lot of people are like, oh, I mean, weed's legal. There's no state in America that 2 pounds of weed on you is legal. Shut the fuck up. And yet they're still winning. Will Alabama play him? Who knows? I gotta end the NCAA talk with 2 things. Darius Acuff. Holy shit. He is the Arkansas point guard. He is averaging 30-5 in his first 2 tourney games. The last person to do that in the last 25 years was, 50 years, Billy Donovan. And you know who Billy Donovan is if you watch NCAA. He was the coach for Florida. And he just got himself a shoe deal with Reebok. Last person that you can remember who got a shoe deal from Reebok that makes sense, AI. And endorsed the shit out of him. He deserves it. He might go top 5, but he deserves all the praise that he's getting. He might, and I'm talking about Acuff, single-handedly take his team to a Final Four. Arkansas is a buzzsaw. Bars. And then you had Robbie Avila. If you don't know who Robbie Avila is, he plays for St. Louis. White guy, wears goggles, big man, doing this thing in the paint. And they lost to Michigan, which was expected, I guess. But they called him Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Cream. My favorite nickname for him was Milk Chamberlain. They called this man Milk Chamberlain. Love that. He went out swinging. In other news, because it's not football season, Eagles trade Sidney Brown. My wife was like, "Oh, do you want to get all this, like everybody who played for the Eagles? They have Brown. You want Sidney Brown? This is why I didn't buy his jersey. He was a great special teams player for the Eagles, not a great player for his position. That's it. I'd have spent $30 on his jersey. Sure, I'm not spending $120 on his jersey. I know. Bugs Bunny, no. JSN gets $42 million per year. His quarterback is making $47 million. So, he set the market. Just like Saquon did it. $42 million for a single person at wideout is crazy. But he was Offensive Player of the Year. He did win a Super Bowl. He did lead the league in receiving yards. 42 M's is crazy. Basketball, the Bucks and Giannis are fucking done. Their owner specifically said that they were sitting him down because they don't want him to play because they're worried about him not signing the extension. You should have fucking signed him or sent him off before the season started. Mind you, Giannis is hurt all the time. especially this year. Multiple calf injuries, knees. I think he had a shoulder. They're in trouble. The Bucks are in trouble because if they trade him away, and I heard they were like, oh yeah, they want VJ Epicon. No. They bungled this. If I'm a Bucks fan, I'm pissed. Kinda, but not because, I mean, Giannis brought them a championship. Liverpool is breaking my soul. They've now lost 10 games. First time since 2015, and I wouldn't doubt that they lose another. And I heard today, and it's very confirmed, that Mo Salah, running down the wing. Salah, la, la, la. The Egyptian king is he's gone. He said he's done. And I understand why, because excuse me, Arn does not know how to use him, and he's probably fed up. He's given everything he's gotten to this club, and I will remember every single moment from Mo. Shout out to Mo.
Thank you.
Yes, every single one. Opening day for the Phils on Thursday. I do not agree with opening day at 4 o'clock, which is stupid. Opening day should be at 1. That's just me. That's just how I feel. But they play against the Rangers. Why break up Thursday and then don't play on Friday and then play on Saturday? Weird. It's Isis Seal. She's a boxer. She's in a coma right now because Jocelyn Camarillo boxed her head off in the first round. Go look it up. Boxed that lady's head off. I hope she's okay, but damn. Afro Man. If you don't know who Afro Man is, look up Because I Got High. I'll take that. Appreciate you, Alan. Afro Man beat the shit out of the legal system. So let's run down this. He got raided in his house because they said he was kidnapping people. They went in, and a bunch of officers beat the shit out of his door, and then had a legal suit because he decided to make diss tracks about them. Fire diss tracks, by the way. And they try to sue him $4 million for defamation. I'm allowed to speak, right? Nothing. Done and done. That man showed up in a USA suit. Go look this shit up. It's crazy. It is crazy. Shout out to Afro Man. I didn't know he was out here like that. But to end the show, and it has nothing to do with sports. It has everything to do with the fact that my wife has been studying for 2 years. Imagine studying for something for 2 years. And she went and fucking murdered. I'm getting emotional. Murdered her test. She went out. She locked the fuck in. And she did her job. As she does every goddamn day. Shout out to Nicole Elizabeth Brown. She went out and did her job. Sometimes people walk around like mosey. Nope. She went in there with her calculator, backup battery, no phone, and did her fucking job. If you see her and you say congratulations, congratulate her again. She deserves it. And that's all I gotta say. Shout out to you. Big ups to the first state. Stay focused and be great. Take a seat out. Listen, I don't know what the fuck is going with TSA. They just fucking up flights, but they're not. Pay your people. Shout out to Booba.